The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
This columnist blighter, Lionel Boyd, has something on Judith Cameron. I've raided his flat only to discover that Judith and he are in the middle of a wrangle. She loses her temper and, strangely, scores a hit with a little statuette of Venus. Friend Boyd goes out to it. I learn that he has papers and photos that might damage Judith Cameron if publicized. Then I send her about her business. In the meantime, Inspector Ford has discovered my means of getaway, piano wire. Summing it all up next day, I scent danger. Judith Cameron has left a powder compact behind.
Dangerous, Rolly?
Very. Did you notice that the press referred to a compact?
Well,
The press and the police aren't fools. That compact has initials or a name on it.
J.C. Judith Cameron.
Very possibly. Oh, the stupid idiot. You know something, Barbara? That woman is in a state to kill our columnist with very little more provocation. The whole situation is dynamite.
Oh, we must certainly stop that. What of Ben Ford, the inspector?
Well, he's discovered our piano wire descent, which is a pity. However, there's more where that came from.
But this Judith Cameron, what happens there?
Now, that's what's worrying me. Boyd has a hold on her. She mixes around a bit and supplies him with dirt from among her acquaintances for his column.
Oh, horrible.
True. But he's holding papers and things over her head, so until she gets them back, she has to go on obeying him.
Only till when you dropped in on them.
That's so. She'd knocked him out with a little bronze statuette when I arrived.
He wasn't killed?
Far from it. Well, let's go back a bit. He holds certain papers that threaten Judith. She searches the flat, finds nothing. The row occurs. I bob up through the window, join in the innocent fun, and Judith goes home.
And so?
No results. Friend Lionel Boyd then meets the Grey Goose. Consequent hullabaloo, and you and I get off a roof in red-hot time.
And so you've got no nearer to reading a lesson to Lionel Boyd, society columnist.
But I have. Now listen, my angel. I'm paying a visit this evening to Judith Cameron. I'm going to get her real story somehow. Then I can act. Lionel Boyd has something over her, and I'm going to find out what it is. Tonight I call on her. After that I can take steps. Barbara, there's a tragedy scheduled to happen. I've got to stop that.
Who's that?
You've had one of my cards. Well, here's another. I'm pushing it through the keyhole.
A feather?
A Grey Goose feather. Remember, I proved I was a friend.
You can do nothing.
On the contrary, I can do much. Kindly open your door. I come as a friend, Miss Cameron. May I switch off this light? Thank you.
I can't think what I can do for you. Man all in black and masked. How can I trust you?
Didn't I establish my friendship last night at Lionel Boyd's flat?
You prevented me killing that monster.
And thus saved you from disaster, Miss Cameron.
I can't see how otherwise you can help me.
Then let me have the opportunity of showing you. Listen, I'm a real enemy of Boyd. I'm on your side. Because of that, now be persuaded. What were you looking for when you turned his flat inside out? Why did you attempt to murder him with that little statuette?
Oh, I wish I'd succeeded.
Oh, nonsense. Come, I can arrange things to help you. Why not tell me?
Very well, then. You know so much. Here's the rest. I'm his society spy.
Yes, I guess that.
Oh, don't scoff too much till you hear the rest. I nose around my own friends. I get confidences. Bit here and a bit there. Scandal. Muck. Dirt. I give it to him. Fine specimen, aren't I?
Now, don't distress yourself.
No?
This has been forced on you. It goes against the grain.
My heavens, it does.
In that case, there's no need to continue.
But I must.
Rubbish. You imagine you're under his thumb.
I am.
Well, why?
How can I put it? Listen, my friend. I have the chance of happiness.
I knew it. A nice man, I'll guarantee you.
Yes. A nice man.
Take him, Judith, and hang the consequences.
Oh, if only I could.
Well, why not?
Well, Boyd has... Has...
The evidence that you are not all you seem to this nice man?
Oh, you're terrible. I'm frightened of you. Yes, Boyd and I were once...
Lovers?
Yes. Intimate, impassioned lovers, if you like. I wrote him stupid letters.
Every girl does that at times.
And there were photographs.
Uh-uh.
Can you imagine a man being so low as to arrange cameras in such a...
Go on.
Automatic cameras were placed where I was shown in the arms of a man, but only the back of the man, Boyd, was photographed.
Well, I'll be dead.
Damned. Yes, that's how I felt when I saw them.
And he holds these letters and photographs over your head.
I can't go to my friend.
Because you are too useful to friend Boyd as a scandal scout. And if you stop scouting, he sends photos, correspondence, etc. to the nice man. He also augments his column with a nice piece of scandal, read Judith Cameron.
Yes. What am I to do? What? I tried hard to find those photographs and letters last night.
And made a complete mess of it until I arrived.
Listen, I'm desperate.
I can sympathize, but don't be a fool. I'm taking a hand, and if you don't get stupid and reckless, we may find a way out.
I'll kill him before I'll let him destroy my chance of happiness.
Rubbish. You've been reading too many American thrillers.
I mean it.
All right. But don't trust your aim again by chucking little ornaments at him. Leave it to me.
Why should I? You're a crook.
I beg your pardon.
The whole of London is waiting to lay hands on the Grey Goose.
Strange, isn't it? And I've never done anybody a crooked turn in my life.
Nobody believes that. Look, for some reason or other, I've told you my troubles. You can't help. Now, please leave things as they are. I'll look after them myself.
Don't be an idiot.
I am not an idiot. Please go. There's nothing you can do, nothing. Go.
Very well, good night. All the same, I think you may still need my help. And will you take one last word of advice?
No.
Good night, then. Oh, the fool. She's going to do something desperate, that's obvious. Quiet, Barbara. This time we go in by Mr. Boyd's front door, but not yet.
Think she'll come?
Yes, I'm dead certain. She'll do some more searching, and as before, fail to find what she's after. She's a very desperate woman.
Now you propose to interfere.
Of course I do. She's on murder bent, or I'm a Dutchman. I've got to prevent that. Now, please remain in the corridor, keep in the shadows. I'm going to call on friend Boyd the Nasty.
And what do I have to do?
As soon as the lift commences to rise, you knock on Boyd's door, a sort of urgent knock.
But supposing she's not in the lift?
My dear oaf, you don't knock on any door. Got it?
Oh, sorry.
All right. Now I go to upset the equanimity of a columnist.
Who is it?
The Grey Goose.
Oh, is that so? Be with you in a minute.
Put that phone down, you fool!
How did you get in?
You think I'd give you time to hold me at the door while you phone the yarn?
You...
Don't stutter. To ease your mind, my friend, I had that door lock opened half an hour ago.
Oh, just a burglar, eh?
As you wish. But in my opinion, a burglar is a notch or two higher than a blackmailing parasite like you.
I'll get onto your tail yet, my friend.
For heaven's sake, don't call me friend. Now shut up. I've come this time to give you warning.
Oh, yes?
Yes, you fool. There's someone on your track that contemplates murder.
What?
Murder, I said, and I mean murder. Look, man, you're driving a certain party too far. You'll be lucky if you don't stop a bullet, and that very soon.
You mean...
You know who I mean. Now, don't say I haven't warned you.
Let me ring the police.
Rubbish. I don't want the person tried for murder. Mind you, I think it's better than you deserve, so here's the idea.
Yes, anything. I'm an important man. Nobody must shoot me.
My hat, stop your gibbering or I'll kill you myself and appeal to the RSPCA. Say I had to put a wretched animal out of pain.
It's all right for you. No one is threatening you.
Shut up and give me your keys.
What?
Give me your keys, I said.
But...
You have a wall safe or some hideaway here, where you keep your pathetic skeletons. Hand over, or I'll not protect you any longer.
The wall safe's behind the fridge in the kitchen.
Thank you, liar. Where is it? Where is it?
It's not a wall safe, it's...
Come on, out with it.
the floor safe under this rug. Just stoop down, roll the rug back. There's a keyhole in the floorboard.
Good.
So,
So you tried to jump me, you idiot. Now, where do you keep your dirty skeletons? Answer, worm.
it's under the rug, in the floor.
Thanks. And don't try jumping on my back again. Now we'll have a look at the miser's hoard, shall we? My, Aladdin's cave. A brooch, a ring, 2, 4. Jiminy, umpteen rings, brooches. Come here, magpie. Show me a certain set of photographs and letters.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, yes, you do. Come on. Where in this rat hole are they?
Here, as a matter of fact. You can have these willingly,
You having no further use for them, I fear? I hope.
What's that?
What did I say? You having no further use for them?
Someone banged on that door.
Yes, I remember hearing it a moment ago. Tell them to come in.
Do you know who who it might be?
Not for certain. Of course, it might be the milkman. But I rather think it's a certain lady with a gun.
So the adventure develops. Is Fletcher going to allow a lady with a gun to take over? Listen to the climax of this adventure of The Grey Goose.
I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
This columnist, Lionel Boyd, offended me, so I determined to follow him up. And it wasn't very long before I discovered he was no more than a blackmailer, using society women to spy on one another and thus provide him with the juicy fragments upon which his column flourished. In particular, he'd managed to get a woman, Judith Cameron, under his thumb, holding, as he did, incriminating photographs and letters of hers. I visited him, incog of course, and warned him that Judith, now in love with someone else, had become desperate and presented danger.
She wouldn't be such a fool as to come here with a gun.
That signal came from a friend of mine to let me know someone was coming to your flat. As I said, that someone is dangerous, hunting you with a gun.
We can't let her in.
Shut up and listen. Let's see how we can stop a stupid crime. I'd rather this girl didn't do what I think she intends.
You'd rather? My heavens!
For the simple reason you are not worth it. Now, quiet, and leave things to me.
She's still got the key I gave her.
Yes. A breach of rule number 1, you idiot. Now, leave me to cope. You go into the bathroom or anywhere. Come in, Miss Cameron.
You again?
Yes, me. And don't try any retreat. This door is locked now. So you've come back.
Yes, and I'm going to have those letters and photographs now. And even you can't interfere this time. I possess a persuasive argument. This.
A gun?
Yes. Where's that worm Lionel? Hiding somewhere, I'll be bound.
My dear, there are no convenient stones in the modern flat.
Please don't interfere. I've come to get those papers, and I'm not leaving here till I get them. I'll shoot them out of him.
That would be very foolish, because you'd hung.
I'd rather hang.
Nonsense. Hanging's very ugly, and never really necessary. Now put that gun down, pistol-packing mama, and listen to me.
Where is that?
All in good time. And, if you insist, I'll produce him. But listen to a bit of reason first, because in 2 minutes from now, I'm going to present you with your precious papers, and there'll be no murders, no shooting.
You have them? The papers? Oh, thank God.
Now, give me that stupid gun.
Stand back. I don't trust you. Stand away. Oh, ooh.
Thank you.
Oh,
Sorry I had to twist your wrist like that.
the gun didn't go off.
I'm lucky, aren't I? My dear, I made a wild guess.
Why didn't the gun fire?
Because, my dear idiot, you don't know enough about guns to go carrying them about with you. You see, you've forgotten to take the safety catch off.
Then...
If I'd let you meet our dear columnist, you would only have made a fool of yourself. Can't you see how he would have castigated a certain lady in tomorrow's column? Quote, "What do you think, folks? Held up at gunpoint last night in my flat. Wrathful woman. I'll only give you the initials," and so on, till everybody couldn't fail to put a finger on you.
Oh, how true. Oh, what a fool I am. But my papers, please.
All right. I'll get them for you. I know where they are.
Oh, show them to me.
Right. Just here. Well, these are they. Examine them. See, they're all there.
Yes. Yes. Oh, how can I thank you?
I'll tell you in one moment. But we've now reached a point where we have to be careful.
Well, can't I just go?
No, you can't. You see, my dear, on your last raid, you dropped your powder compact. As I made my escape, our sweet friend Lionel yelled to Scotland Yard and said he'd cornered the Grey Goose.
You?
At your service.
But you got away.
I did. But that powder compact means something. And thus a very astute gentleman from the famous yard is going to call here at any moment and pursue further inquiries.
Then please let me go.
Not so. You'll have to remain and meet the gentleman. My name is Ebenezer Ford, Chief Inspector.
But why?
Because, for obvious reasons, I cannot remain myself.
But I still don't see what I can do.
Then I'll show you. Push the rug back again. Now, here is the magpie's nest. Yours were not the only incriminating occupants in that little safe. Look, jewels, pleading letters, more jewels.
What do they mean?
They mean that he has extorted these trinkets from women who've so bribed him to keep their secrets.
The unutterable worm.
I want you to show all this to the inspector when he arrives.
Oh, I shall enjoy doing it.
Now, here's what I want you to do.
I'll do anything.
Here's your gun. It's all right. I've unloaded it. But he won't know that. He's hiding in the bathroom. Fetch him out and go on with the dramatic appeal. He doesn't know yet you've got what you want. Okay?
Where will you be?
Not very far off. Now, good luck, and put on your act. Listen. If I'm not mistaken, that's my friends, the police.
I'm terrified.
No need to be. You'll be surrounded by police in a moment. And don't forget to get him out of that bathroom. Here's the keys to his floor safe. Tell your tale to the inspector, then open Aladdin's cave and leave the rest to Ben Ford. Cheerio. Now, me for the roof. But just one ear on the keyhole for one little second.
Now, come out, Lionel. And remember, I have a gun with me this time.
Listen, Judith. If you'll stop being dramatic, I'll do a deal with you.
Excellent. All according to script. Fare you well, actors.
Guard the exit to the roof as well while I enter the flat. There's trouble here. If I'm not mistaken, there's also a Grey Goose in the offing.
There he is, and where can he go? This is going to be a close call. Next flat, I think. Thank goodness I tested that lock.
All right, now. In now.
Not a sound. Good or bad?
Who are you?
Oh, I do beg your pardon. I've got the wrong key somehow. The wrong flat. Wrong everything.
Stand still while I switch on a light. A masked intruder.
Oh, very dramatic. There is, however, no need for that. I assure you this costume and mask is the hangover from a party, and I'm very harmless. If you'll accept my apology, I'll make myself scarce at once.
I don't know whether to believe you or not.
You got a gun?
No. Yes, of course.
Then point it at me and escort me downstairs. I haven't got one, so it's all on your side. What about it?
I haven't got a gun.
And I'm not a burglar. By Jove, we are an amusing couple, aren't we?
Somehow I don't think you mean any harm.
You're perfectly right. Now, here's just one favour I ask. May I leave by your window?
But you break your neck. It's 3 stories.
And you'd be sorry? Oh, very nice of you to be so considerate.
So now what? Look here, I can't stand here talking to you for the rest of the night.
Far be it from me to keep a lady up. But I'm of the nervous type, a little that is. And suddenly a dreadful fears attack me.
Fear? Nonsense. I'm a defenseless female. You are, to all appearances, a husky sort of individual. I should be the one to be timorous.
But you're not. You weren't even scared when I so rudely entered your flat. Why?
Because... Well, perhaps I was a bit intrigued.
Only old maiden ladies are intrigued by midnight visitors of the opposite sex. And you're no old maiden lady.
Then what do you make of me?
This lady. No, it's too late to blow that police whistle.
You!
Now, stop it. You, my dear, are a policewoman, and I lifts my lid to Ben Ford. Very smart indeed of him to plant a very charming police lady so near the scene of my most recent engagement.
Oh, you...
Don't struggle, you little idiot. Just remember, you are held in the arms of the Grey Goose himself. Romantic, ain't it, PC-49?
Let me go!
Sorry, but you've got to be gagged. Here, nice clean hanky. Swallow that. Now, have you heard of the bolster cure? No? Oh, I'll show you. Must be a nice bolster in the bedroom. Come along, PC-49. The very thing. Almost I'd think you'd been measured for the bolster cover. In you get, dearie. Now, a little of the blind cord. Yes. There. And so you look like a private's kit bag. Except he doesn't bring home such a nice cargo. Au revoir, my sweet. Give my love to Inspector Ford. Now for the window. Coping just wide enough, I think. Work my way along and listen.
Yes, a very interesting collection, Mr. Boyd. On the face of it, these jewels would almost look like wholesale robbery.
They were all, every one, given to me.
In that case, they look even worse. Given, you said?
Yes.
Extorted, I'd say. This letter seems to be but a sample. Listen. This is the very last piece of any value I have. Please, Lionel, be merciful and let me have those letters back. I can manage no more.
Look, they're just the ravings of a stupid woman.
A stupid woman? What of the others? All couched in the same words, more or less. As a police officer, it's my duty to arrest you for extortion and blackmail. I must warn you that anything you say will be taken down and used in evidence.
All right, then. But why don't you add to your precious duty and get the Grey Goose bloke that was here last night and again tonight? Damn me, man, he was here just before you arrived.
You spoke to him too, didn't you, Miss Cameron?
Yes, I did. But I can only remember him with gratitude, as will many others whose names you've unearthed in the floor safe.
That's all very well. However, we still must get him. Any signs, Capel?
No, sir.
I see. All right, we'll try next door. I have a key. Constable Grant? Grant! Oh, confound the woman. She's told not to stir out of here. Grant! Hello? Well, I'm dashed. Done up in a bolster case. All right, you young idiot. Wait while I undo these knots.
Oh!
Exactly. And kindly explain how you managed to let anyone put it over you like this.
I tried to stall him, hold him till I had the opportunity of blowing my whistle, but he spotted the chain and then downed me.
Oh, well. May as well keep this. It was tied up in a knot round your bolster.
A feather?
Yes. A Grey Goose feather. All right, come with me. I've got to get back to the next flat and complete making an arrest. I'd also like you to look after a lady in there for an hour or two. Come on.
My chance. Through this flat and home, I think. Something attempted, something done, has earned a night's repose.
Once again, Rolland Fletcher has been successful, and Inspector Ford has come off second best. How long, however, can such a state of affairs continue, while adventure ever beckons the Grey Goose?
I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
Lately, instead of living up to my reputation as a bandit and a menace to society, I've been so altruistic in my excursions that I've decided to decorate myself with the Order of the Mug, with palms. Musing thus, I began to cast around for a real paying victim, and then the revolving bookcase went into action, and Barbara Faversham entered from her flat, come agitation, come hurry.
Look at this paper, Rolly.
Cuttings from an evening journal, which is always sensational.
The agony column.
A thriller fiction beloved by frustrated females.
Don't be so superior. I read it and I'm not.
A frustrated female? All right. What's in the agony column that intrigues you?
This Pa. Look at it, please. Read it.
Okay, I will. H.W., do you love your daughter, Grace? Bellew. That all?
Yes, for that one. That's 3 days ago. Now read this one.
Answer, H.W. You are jeopardizing your daughter's life by silence. You know, this reminds me of The Silver King, or A Girl's Crossroads, drama rampant. Next, please.
H.W., no answer. Grace will leave you in 24 hours. After that, you will answer or she will suffer. Bellew.
What H.W.'s done in his spare time, and who Grace can be.
So, you're interested at last.
Well,
Rolland Fletcher, you're going to be very interested, and that shortly. I know Grace.
How on earth can you say that? There are hundreds of Graces around. Is Grace good, gracious, Grace before meals?
Oh, this is urgent. Do be serious for a moment. I used to have a friend, Grace Warren.
Mm-hmm.
She is the daughter of Howard Warren.
Yes.
Oh, bless me, how very obtuse you can be. Howard Warren, H.W., daughter Grace, danger. Now do you understand?
I think I've got a glimmering, but proceed slowly. Do remember my mental reflexes have become a little sluggish.
All right, then. H.W. is threatened with something. Unless he takes steps to answer these hints in the agony column,
Who's they?
They'll do something to injure Grace and thus force him to... and I don't know who they is.
Fairly logical surmise, although a little fragile. All right, I see you have another cutting. What does that say?
It says, you have ignored warnings. This is your last chance. This is an instruction. Go to Pillar Box, corner of Treadle Street and Morley Street, Notting Hill. Pretend to post a letter. You will be accosted. Then follow the person who speaks. Do all this and Grace will remain safe.
Crikey, this is a real how-do-you-do.
Then you'll do something?
Oh, I suppose so. But I do wish I could get on to a nice, easy robbery. Here I go again. No profit except a possible poke in the eye.
How do you propose to go about it?
Don't bully me. There's one thing I do know. Your H.W. mustn't keep that appointment.
But Grace...
Grace is not yet on the scene. No, H.W. can't keep that appointment.
Well...
I'll persuade him to let me keep it for him.
I knew you'd do something.
You knew I had a real talent for sticking my neck out. All right. When's the appointment for?
It says, Pillar Box, 10:30 p.m., 14th instant.
Jabers, that's tonight. Well, first I'll pay a call on H.W.
Mr. Howard Warren. Rolly, he was a grand friend of Dad's. Did his utmost at the trial to help. It wasn't his fault that Dad was convicted.
Good for him. Now, give me the cuttings, address of H.W., and stand by for a call from me later. I've got to persuade Mr. Warren to let me do the necessary. See you anon. Good evening.
Who the deuce are you?
Pardon the intrusion, Mr. Warren. Your French window stood invitingly open, thus I entered unannounced.
And masked. Believe me, I'm not the man to be scared by mere burglars.
Believe me, I really cannot be classed as a mere burglar. However, to cut matters short, I'm not any sort of a burglar.
Well, you jolly well look like one.
Dear, you've been reading the comics.
Now, look here.
Hold your horses. I've been sent here by a lady, a great friend of your daughter, Grace.
What?
It's true. But if you won't take my word, let me just mention one name. Faversham.
Brian Faver... What is all this?
I mention that unfortunate gentleman merely as a sort of credential. You see, I am intimately acquainted with his story and your brave efforts on his behalf.
Well, I'm...
Jiggered? Nonplussed? But seriously, sir, a certain party showed me these cuttings. Have you seen them?
Yes, I have.
And what do you propose to do about them?
I really don't know. At first I ignored them, then I confessed to being a bit worried. There's an appointment for tonight, 10:30.
Which you mustn't keep, sir.
Mustn't?
That's what I said. Listen, you follow this stranger as directed.
That's what I intended to do.
And where will that take you? You don't know. Neither do I.
Well, the only way is to go.
But supposing you do? Supposing this is a trap for you? You obligingly fall into it, and such protection as you are to Miss Grace is removed. Now tell me, what good have you done?
Yes, I didn't think of that. By Jove, you've got something.
I'm glad you realize it.
What do you suggest? Wait a minute. I find myself consulting a masked stranger as if he were a friend. How do I know this is not a more subtle attack?
You are entitled to your doubts. And let me see if I can dispel them. 1, you accepted my credentials that I'm representing a certain party vitally interested in Brian Faversham.
True, I did.
2, I am suggesting you do not remove yourself from a position where you can protect your daughter. She's in, I take it.
Yes, she went up to her room 5 minutes ago. You've convinced me. What is the alternative?
Let me keep the appointment for you. It must lead somewhere, and, as I say, you'll be at home and in contact with your daughter.
I'll take your offer. I presume you'll let me know the result of your appointment?
Where it'll take me, I don't know. But as soon as I'm in a position to do so, I shall let you know somehow.
I suppose you wouldn't care to let me know who you are, huh?
Regrets and all that, but I'd rather wait a little. I promise you that you'll have the opportunity later. Now, please be careful. Keep an eye on your daughter, and in the event of any trouble here, get in touch with an old friend of mine at the yard, one Chief Inspector Ford.
I will.
And don't sit in front of open French windows. Au revoir, Mr. Warren. Right on time, I think. 10:30 exactly. Corner of Treadle and Morley Streets. Well, what do you know about that? There isn't such a thing as a pillar box to be seen.
Talking to yourself, sir? But you were quite right about the pillar box. There certainly isn't one.
Well, don't tell me someone's pinched it.
It sufficed as a rendezvous. You're HW, I presume. Like Tennessee for the mask.
That's my own idea. And I'm here in response to your message. It was yours, I suppose?
It was my principles. My instructions are to guide you to them.
Haven't I seen you somewhere before?
Definitely not. Please follow me. There's but a step.
If it's not a rude answer, who is your principal, as you call him?
I believe he's quite an old acquaintance of yours.
Oh, I see. Old friends. Right. Lead on, Macduff.
My name is McIntyre. And please observe a little silence.
Oh. What are we calling on? A church?
Quiet, please. You're now arrived. Down the area steps, please. After me.
Somehow, my friend, I'd rather go down the steps after you than in front. I don't like the look of this place at all. Proceed again.
Quiet now.
I tell you, I know nothing of my father's affairs.
Mm-hmm. A lady's presence.
Yes? Is that you, Mac?
Aye. With your visitor.
All right, hold it a minute. You, get in there. All right. Bring the visitor in, Mac. Well, Warren, glad to see you. So you... What's this? What's this mask idea? You're not Howard Warren? What are you doing here? You idiot, Mac. You brought the wrong man.
Don't blame Mac too much. It was a natural mistake. Dark, you know, and I was going to post a letter in the pillar box at the corner of Treadle and Morley Streets, if there had been a pillar box there.
Stop being idiotic and explain this intrusion.
Intrusion? I rather resent that. Mac invited me here.
Mac is an imbecile. All right, remove that mask and explain yourself.
I can't remove the mask. Very inconvenient at the moment.
Mac, you'd better smack this gentleman down.
Mac will do nothing of the kind, because if he tries it, I'm afraid I shall have to teach him a lesson, exactly like I had the pleasure of teaching him 2 or 3 years ago. Remember Peg Alley, Mac? Just before you got 6 months for strong arm stuff?
Then you're the swell who...
That's it, and you are Scotty Mac, thug, with about 8 jail terms behind you. Nice friends you have, sir.
That's enough. What do you want?
Nothing, except, as the lady typist said, I've come in answer to the advertisement. Now, look here. Let's cut the fooling. What do you want with Howard Warren?
That's Warren's business.
I'm on Warren's business. What is the harm you threaten his daughter with?
If you only knew it, fellow, you're poking your nose into something that'll cure your curiosity forever.
All right, I see I'm not welcome. You don't want me here, and I do realize that.
So little that if you don't get out quick, it'll be very much the worse for you. After all, there are 2 of us. There may have been a time when you gave Mac a licking. Maybe he'd like another chance at you.
Would that?
All right, possibly the 2 of you could down there. But before I go or invite your unwelcome attentions, tell me, why did you invite Mr. Howard Warren here? After all, I'm his temporary agent.
Warren will know in good time. He's refused to accept my hints in the press. Okay. Tell him this, mister. I still mean what I say. Let him beware of harm to his daughter. Now, get out and give him that message. Mac, open the door and escort our friend back the way he came.
No, I'm not going back up those area steps. You may have other thugs waiting. I'm going through this door.
I put your weight against it, Mac. Get him out. Come on.
A bolt. The lock. Good. Just in time.
Who are you?
I don't know for the moment. I'm either coming or going. Yeah, where did you spring from?
I've been in here for about a quarter of an hour, and I can't find a way out.
Never mind, Mac. They can't get away. Let up for a minute.
Hear that? Gives me a moment to breathe. Now, let's get this straight. Who are you? I think I heard your voice a while back. Then I heard this gentleman say, get in there. Was that you?
Yes. Then he slammed the door on me.
All right, go on. Why? Never mind why. Who are you?
Grace Warren.
What? Oh, my prophetic soul. By the bones of Beelzebub, what have you done?
Fletcher is now faced with a serious complication in his efforts to help Howard Warren, and thus starts another adventure of the Grey Goose.
I have been here.
The Grey Goose. Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
Howard Warren, an old friend of Barbara Favisham's father, has ignored hints in the agony columns to keep a certain appointment, or danger will overtake his daughter Grace. Listening to Barbara's request, I interviewed Warren and persuaded him to let me keep the appointment. This I did, and was escorted to a poor sort of room in a basement. Naturally, I was not the expected visitor and was told to clear out. Seizing an opportunity, I did a dive for the inner door instead, and just got it shut and bolted. Imagine my consternation when a female told me she was Grace Warren.
You seem terribly put out.
Seem? Put out? My dear idiots, and no big pardons either. You've jammed the old spanner completely in the works.
How? How?
Don't keep saying how like Big Chief Sitting Bull. Listen, we've got seconds to spare and no more. I kept that agony column appointment because I persuaded your father he'd be better off keeping an eye on you. Did you know of the threats?
Well, I did, but I didn't let Father know I knew.
Oh, great, oh, marvellous. When I left your father an hour ago, he assured me you were in your room.
An hour ago, I received a telephone call to come to the corner of Treadle Street.
And wait by the pillar box.
That was strange. There was no pillar box.
Don't I know it? Go on. Why did you obey the call?
Because the voice said if I didn't, harm would come to Father.
Worse and worse. If you did read their agony ads, you know that's exactly how the threat came to your father. If he refused, you would be harmed. My dear girl, if you ever get married and have children, will you farm them out?
What an extraordinary thing to say.
Not a bit. If you bring them up, they'll be complete morons. All right, let's forget it and see how best to get out of here.
There is no way except the front room. The stairs to the upper rooms obviously start on the ground floor. You'd have to go up the basement stairs to the pavement and then in the front door.
You two in there.
Yes, you two in there?
I'll give you 3 minutes and no longer to come out of your own accord or I'll smash the door down. Come on, talk turkey. You coming?
3 minutes, you said?
I did.
We accept. Just give us time to powder our noses.
I'm not fooling. Are you coming?
But yes, in 3 minutes. Is Scotty still with you?
Yes, he is, and burning to take a poke at you.
Aye.
All right. Maybe he'll get the chance, glory be. Now listen to me, dear lunatic. They're too quiet to be nice, and I have a slight feeling, where I fear an ulcer will one day be, there's something cooking.
Why don't we give up and go out there? They can't do us much harm.
Then why is this bloke so anxious to lay hands on your father and threaten him with harm to you?
What alternative have we?
Just this. Now, help me put these chairs against the door. Now, come on. Quietly does it.
2 minutes.
All right, Father Time.
How can you be so facetious?
It stops me taking time off to cry over idiotic women. Come on. Heave. Now, that'll do. You say you've explored the place for an exit,
I definitely have.
but there's always a way up from a basement.
There is. The area steps.
All right.
1 minute.
And the rest, it'll take him half an hour to remove our barricade. Now, come on, Livingston. Some more exploring.
This second room seems like an old kitchen.
Smells like an old garbage can. Have you looked in there?
Oh, a pitch-black coal cellar.
What? A cellar? Come on.
I daren't.
A coal cellar. By Vulcan, how do they put coal in a coal cellar?
I wouldn't know.
From a back street. And they lift a little lid in the pavement and chuck the coal down. Lady...
Time's up. We're coming.
Yes, and we are going. But you won't find that out just yet. Come on, girl. Here's the lid up here. One push. Ooh. Good. Now, try that coal hole for size.
I think I can manage. Ah, I'm through.
Right. Here I come. Oof. Dash it, I'll have to watch this waistline of mine. Ooh. Ah. Made it.
Let's run.
Not till we've replaced the lid. So. Now, we can start moving down this lane.
What's tickling you so much? I can see nothing funny.
Can't you? Wait till you get under a lamp.
I know my frock is a ruin. If, of course, I had known I was going to climb through a coal hole, I'd have not worn a white costume.
A white costume? My dear, we both look as if we'd escaped from the Kentucky minstrels.
Why? Yes. Oh, dear, I must look a sight.
All right. Now, we've got to continue to get back to your father without being noticed and let him know you're safe.
But he doesn't know I went out. You yourself said he was more or less keeping guard over me.
Oh, Lord, by Jove, yes, of course. Grace, my dear, black or white, dirty or clean, we've got to rush.
What do you fear?
I can't put it into so many words, but something is very certainly doing. How long do you think you've been away?
About 2 hours.
All that time? Hurry, girl. Oh, thank heavens. There's a taxi. Taxi! Taxi!
Waiters... Hey, wait on. What's this? Fancy dress nigger show? Not in my cab with all that burnt cork on you.
But it's not burnt cork, it's only coal.
I don't believe you.
Well, what do you know?
Maybe we can get a lift in a coal cart.
Yes, and maybe not. Now, let's be serious, because, Grace, things are serious. It's obvious we can't go into the West End like this, so we'll have to thumb a ride in some cart or other and make for an address I know in Farringdon Market. Little pal of mine, Charlie Austin, will let us have a clean-up. Maybe he'll find you a change. Oh, Lord, it's a long way, though.
That you, Mr. Hicks?
That's so, Charlie. Can I come in with a friend?
Certainly.
Yeah, strike a light. What's all this? The two black crows are Amos and Andy.
Yes, all right. Joke over, Charlie. This is Miss Grace Warren, and she's not as black as she's painted, as you'll see if you'll be good enough to provide her with some soap and water.
But of course they're coming, miss. Go right up them stairs. I'll bring some water up myself and a brace of shakes. Maybe find your dress, eh? What do you prefer, voile or satin?
Voile would maybe be best under the circumstances.
Rightio. I've got an old serge jacket and skirt. I'll bring that.
I'll be very grateful. And thank you very much.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. Hicks?
Oh, I don't matter so much. This black jumper and slacks doesn't show the black dust, and my mask protected my face. However, the wash and brush down will help.
Rightio, the kettle's boiling. I'll just take it up to the lady. Oh, and the costume. In this here cupboard. You start washing.
Right, thanks.
I'll put the clothes and water outside the door, miss.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Hicks, what's the gin? Can I help?
Yes, I think you can, Charlie. Matter of fact, I can do with a pal later.
I'm always on, you know.
Good. Well, let's get it straight and as short as I can. That girl's father was threatened through a series of agony column ads to communicate with someone called Bellew, or they'd take it out on his daughter.
The blacker brow upstairs?
As a matter of fact, she's a blonde. However, Warren refused to take notice. The last ad said, come to a certain place. Well, to cut the story short, I volunteered to go.
Does he know you?
No, he's only seen me masked, but I persuaded him. I went and left him on guard, so to speak. Imagine my surprise when I got to the place to find they'd already got the girl more or less a prisoner.
Phew, how did they manage that?
Phoned her that her dad was in danger. So she slipped out without telling Father.
Blimey. I begin to see a thing or two.
I think you're seeing what I see. That man has, since I last saw him, walked into a very dangerous situation. They're cunning, these people, and I'm very much afraid for Warren and the girl. Here she comes.
Why, miss, that was a quick change. How do you feel?
Very much better now, thank you.
You feel 100% when you drank this?
Thank you. Now, may I ask some questions?
Of course.
Before I do, however, let me thank you for getting me away from that place.
I'm delighted.
Now the questions. Who are you, and why the mask?
The gent is Mr. Hex, see? I've known him 15 years, and he likes being called Mr. Hex.
Or nothing yet, Charlie.
What brought you into this affair?
My promise to someone to help Mr. Warren and warn him of the danger to you. Hence, I kept the appointment arranged for him. I persuaded him we should at least find out what the threats meant and why. Unfortunately, you foolishly answered that call on the phone and obeyed the instructions to go to that address.
A very natural thing to do.
Rubbish. Why didn't you go and tell him?
He'd have stopped me.
And wisely. Look, my very foolish one, he was more or less on guard to stop whoever it was grabbing you while I went scouting. Instead of which, you walk into the trap.
But I have found out one thing.
Surprise, surprise. What?
I recognized the man.
Good heavens, you did? Good. Tell me later. We've got to get you home and tell Father all about it. Hurry. Got your car handy, Charlie? It's very quiet. Only one light burning. Got your key, Grace?
Yes. There we are. It's me, Father. Father? Father, it's Grace.
Mr. Warren.
Oh, crocky, no go. He ain't in.
I hope he isn't.
You hope he isn't? Oh, well, why should you be glad he isn't in? Why? Why?
I'm sorry to worry you, Grace. But if he isn't in, it's no go. And if he is and doesn't answer your call, I...
You think...
What is there to think?
And now the double cross has been established. Daughter, bait to catch father. Father, bait to catch daughter. This has set a complicated problem for the Grey Goose.
I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
Why are women so unreasoning? Someone wants Mr. Howard Warren. I deputize for him because his daughter's safety is threatened. When I get to the place, his daughter has obeyed a phone call thinking to save her father, and there I found her. Ergo, I dash into the breach, rescue the damsel after what might be called many bludgeonings of fate, return to her father's place, only to find... well, that's as far as I can go at the moment.
Where is Father? What's happened?
Sorry to alarm you, but let's reason for just a moment.
Reason?
All right. Charlie, you search upstairs. Grace and I'll do ditto down here.
Right, Mr. Hex. I'll give the top floor a real doing over.
I'm afraid.
Well, that doesn't help. The fact is, and let's face it, your father remained at home to guard you, who was supposed to be in your room. I went in his stead to that address, and you little idiot, dash out without him knowing anything about it.
Well, I didn't want him running into danger.
Instead of which you did. These people had you, a wonderful threat to your father.
I see now.
Right. I pull you out of that, very luckily, and we get back home. Where's father? He doesn't answer. You can't see him.
I don't think...
I can, fortunately. If he's in, he can't answer. If he's out, they've managed to tell him they've got you. So off he goes, hot foot. All right. Now start the search.
Dad! Dad!
Mr. Warren!
Dad!
Mr. Warren!
Dad!
Mr. Warren! Mr. Warren!
Nowhere downstairs.
Definitely. How's it going, Charlie?
Nobody up here, Mr. Hicks.
All right, come down. Well, that settles it, Grace. They apparently haven't harmed him. No corpus delicti, as it were.
Oh, why do you always joke?
I told you, if I didn't throw off a little superficial idiocy at times, I'd sit me down and cry.
At least you could remove that mask and let me know who you are.
Charlie calls me Mr. Hicks. Don't forget the H. That'll do for now. Ah, Charlie.
A letter in the upstairs bedroom back.
My room.
Let's read it. Bless my soul. A very hasty scrawl. Listen. Little Scottish man called. Said had my daughter Grace. Danger to her. Follow if you get this.
I see.
So very perspicacious of you. My hat. Why, oh, why did you leave this place? Can't you see? Father must go. They want something. He doesn't go. You do, and your safety is on his head. Continue. They tell him they've got you. Off goes father.
Well, of course I can see all of this.
You haven't seen the worst of it, idiot. They've got him now for sure. They're pretty certain you now will go after him. They nobble you again.
I'm going after him, of course.
What is all this? A roundabout? It's making me dizzy. Supposing they do, you do. Then they threaten you, and Dad, to save you from a fate worse than death, gives them what they want. Now, what's it all about? Who are these folk?
The man's name, you've met him, is Baloo. Human Baloo. Quite a big noise in the city, incidentally, a financier. He's been a long business acquaintance of Dad's.
Go on.
Well, when I got there, he started firing questions at me about Dad. Baloo seemed to think Dad had acquired some knowledge that would jeopardize one of his interests.
I see, and he was going to extract that information. What did he say was his interest?
I'm rather confused. It concerned a man in jail.
What?
A swindler or... What was the name?
Faversham?
That's it. Faversham. That's all I know.
Quite enough, too.
Well, aren't we going to do anything about Father? Oh, please.
We are doing nothing. But Charlie and Austin and I are definitely declaring war on Mr. Human Baloo.
Count me in.
As the famous Daniel Mayer once said, we are including you out.
If you're going after my father, I'm coming with you.
Listen, do you want to start the whole darn roundabout all over again? This is Operation United. We want to see you and your dad together in one place, just for a change.
I insist on coming too.
Charlie, would you mind dissuading the lady while I go and start up the car?
Well, just as you say, Mr. Hicks, but I haven't had much experience at dissuading females. I've had a good many goes at persuading them. However, I'll do my best.
All right, give me 2 minutes. Then we'll be off.
This the place?
Not quite, but it's close enough. Out you get. Do you think anyone followed us? The girl, for instance?
No fear, she couldn't.
By the way, what did you do to prevent her?
Poured her out a very stiff whiskey seat. One sip and she went out like a light. Put a Mickey Finn in it.
Good. My, was that a taxi?
I've gone by now.
Think it followed us?
No, why should it?
Exactly. I'm getting as nervous as my maiden aunt's eldest kitten. All right, let's go.
Into the house?
Definitely. First, we reconnoitre that basement, down the area steps and see what's doing. Quiet now. We've got to learn if Mr. Warren is here.
Well, don't you reckon he is?
I'm certain he'd come here, especially as in his note he said a little Scot had called for him. That little Scot, Charlie, was your old friend, Scotty Mac.
Oh, was it? I reckon I still owes him a round or two. I say this Bellew bloke keeps nice company.
Here we are.
All very quiet and nice.
Too quiet. How's the door?
Easy. Opened in a jiffy.
Right, let's go in. Too quiet for my liking.
Silent
Put
as
your
the...
torch on.
Yeah, silent as the grave, as the saying is, Mr. Hicks.
Even more silent, not even a worm turning. Confound it, we've been done, Charlie.
Done?
Done, Brown. If Warren came here, which I'm certain he did, they guessed I'd follow, so they wouldn't wait to welcome me.
Well, I reckon we're flummoxed.
No, Charlie, not yet. Let's squint around. There's a telephone I see in the corner. Wonder if it's still connected. Try it.
Yeah, it is.
Put the receiver back, Charlie. This is where we can put the wind up our friend Human Bellew. Give us that telephone directory.
What are you looking for?
One Bellew. Human Bellew. Grace Warren said he was a big shot. We'll find his address and telephone number.
Got it.
Good. Where does he live?
Blimey, Berkeley Square. 19. Telephone Mayfair 1917.
All right, dial it.
Here we go.
Yes. Yes?
Bellew?
Yes, I'm Bellew. What a time to ring a man. Who is it?
You may well ask. Bellew, take care. Take care.
What do you say?
Let Warren go. Let Warren go.
Who? What?
Scare number one. Now again, Charlie.
Who is that? Who the devil are you?
Let Warren go, Bellew. Let Warren go. You are in danger.
Don't be a darned fool and stop ringing the phone. And I won't let who is that?
Just a little warming up process, Charlie.
Sounded a bit scared to me, as much as I heard.
We'll scare him still more before the night's out. Come on, we're going to Berkeley Square.
Anywhere for a change.
I think our telephone business might have been a mistake, Charlie.
How's that, Mr. Hex?
Our friend seems prepared. Lights on all over the house.
Oh, soon fix that.
Yes, but in a place like this, there's bound to be a couple of servants for certain. All alerted, too.
I'll give 'em alert. Look, Mr. Hex, the main bedroom's upstairs. He's in there for certain. Telephone by his bed.
Well, of course. If it had been anywhere else, a servant would have answered it.
That's what I reckoned. Now, you go up and interview his nibs.
Mm-hmm.
While I finds out where the servants sleep and scares the daylights out of 'em.
Good. Join me in the upstairs front. Oh, watch out for that thug, Scotty Mac. Bellew probably brought him along.
I'll fix him.
Good. Now, I'm off upstairs. Have you arranged the lights?
Yeah. All you got to do is to unroll the string you got, see? And when you get to his door and are good and ready, give it a tug. And he pulls the main fuse right out.
Splendid. Right. Action stations.
Who the devil's that?
Good evening.
Confound it. What's happened to the lights?
A temporary blackout, Mr. Bellew.
Who are you?
The Grey Goose. Very much at your service.
The Grey?
Ah, I gather you've heard of me.
Now, what do you want? If you're on one of your robbing excursions, I'll have the police here in 1 minute.
Nonsense! And don't attempt to dial that phone again.
What's that hubbub?
I fear it's a friend of mine calming the servants. He's just a little boisterous in his methods.
Scotty Mac, here, quick! And there you lost still, see?
I have a feeling, Mr. Bellew, that Scotty Mac has met with an accident.
Look here, I was just getting to bed. You may have noticed I was in my pyjamas before the lights failed.
It delighted me. May I, in passing, commend your taste? Well, enough of this. Your telephone must have warned you that I was coming.
Yes, I gathered someone... It was you, then?
Yes. And are you prepared to deliver to me safely Mr. Howard Warren?
I haven't got Howard Warren.
Then where have you put him?
Charlie!
Haven't...
Come in.
Find the kitchen. Here, take my torch. Get a bucket and all the ice cubes you can find. Hurry.
Oh, what?
You mentioned pyjamas just now, Mr. Bellew. Unless you come clean, I'm going to put those feet of yours in the bucket of ice and make you talk. How do you like that? It's a well-known form of torture. After 3 minutes in ice, we then employ the hot water system. Heat the feet up again. Then back go the feet in the ice, and so on, and infinitum until we run out of ice. Or victim. I know. Now, what about it? The jolly old hot and cold and all modern inconveniences? Or Howard Warren? Come, men, the game's up.
All right. He's here. I give in.
That's very wise of you. Now, show me where.
Well, how can I in the dark?
Here's the ice, Mr.
I said show me. Charlie, we may not need that ice.
Oh, what a pity. I remember in Hong Kong...
Charlie, your torch.
Well, this is my dressing room. There's Howard Warren on the settee, drunk as a lord.
My hat. Charlie, lower the torch. Thanks. Drunk, you say, Baloo?
Yes, that's what I said.
And what I say is, you're a liar. This man is drugged.
And so Rolland Fletcher, as ever, following his instincts, gets close to the solution of another problem, adding yet another chapter to the exploits of...
I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
Howard Warren was now in the hands of human Bellew. Just what we'd attempted to avoid. At least I'd managed to rescue his daughter. Well, away I went to Bellew's place in Berkeley Square, and put the wind up, human Bellew, who, under certain compulsion, showed me Mr. Warren. The latter was stretched out on a settee in Bellew's dressing room. I realized at once he was drugged.
Nonsense. Now look here, there's been too much jiggery-pokery going on. How dare you raid my house? What is it you want?
It's not so much what I want. It's what you want from Mr. Warren. You take the cheap blackmailers away through the agony column and threaten the safety of his daughter if he doesn't keep an appointment with you.
Rubbish.
Oh, by the way, Charlie, nick down to the kitchen and brew some very black coffee.
No sooner said than done. Shall I put that main fuse back?
Yes, do. Now, to continue, Bellew. It was then that I came in, and I got quite dizzy chasing Warren, then Grace, each being held by you as a bait for the other. Well, Grace is now out of your clutches, and I'm here to look after Warren.
And who are you, if one may ask?
I've told you.
Oh, the Grey Goose. A sort of cowardly burglar who, by a few conjuring tricks, has put the wind up a lot of old women.
And a few others. All right, let's drop that subject. Ah, there's the light again. Now you can tell me what this is all about.
That I'll never do.
That's all right. Warren here will. Mr. Warren. Mr. Warren. Look. Sit up, man. That's better. Coming to. That's fine.
Stand away from that man.
Not a bit of it. Warren is coming to, and in no time he'll be able to give us the information we want.
Warned you, so here goes.
Oh, crikey. I've lost a lovely brew of hot coffee.
A gun, Mr. Bellew? How very primitive. Well done, Charlie.
Get me something to take the burn out of my face.
Any coffee left in the pot, Charlie?
Yeah. Shall I pitch it over him again? Sort of an encore?
No. Help me with Mr. Warren. Make him drink some. Ah, signs of life. Now, lift him. Make him walk. Keep at it. Now, you, Bellew. You haven't got in a gun anymore. I've got it, so I think we'll have a little talk.
I shall say nothing.
All right, I'll say it. It appears that Warren happened to mention to his daughter that he had certain papers containing facts that might help Brian Faversham, now in jail.
I know nothing of them.
That's not the truth. Facts, papers, or what have you favourable to Brian Faversham might be very dangerous to one human Bellew, city financier and erstwhile co-director. At least, that's how I read it.
I am not interested.
But you must be. You've even done a bit of kidnapping, a bit of drugging, a series of threats in agony columns to get hold of Warren, or, worse still, his daughter, and by that means extort what you wanted.
Can you prove all this? You, a wanted man? Why, you idiot, you can do nothing. You're a discredited person. You daren't come out into the open. You're even wearing a mask now.
Just a little conceit of mine. Charlie, how's Mr. Warren?
Well, coming along fine. Can't get him talking yet, though.
More coffee, then. By the way, Bellew, it wouldn't be any good offering you some more, would it?
No, confound you. Listen, so far you've had your way, but you can't win all along the line.
You might be right. But on the other hand, I've quite a few victories to my credit. What are you looking at? Come away from that door, please.
Right, Scotty! How'd you like that? You'll stay in there until I get the police.
Well, if I'm not a flaming no good, I reckon I'll put Scotty Mac out for about 12 hours.
You didn't hit him hard enough.
I will next time. Let's pick this lock, eh?
Easy, but where does that get us? He and Scotty are probably standing waiting with a coal hammer each.
Do you think he'll ring the police?
He dare not.
Why, Mr. Warren, you're back with us.
Just about, but I feel terrible.
No, it'll wear off. Do you really think he won't, or daren't ring the police?
That's what I said. So far, he has not extracted a single item of information I possess. The capture of you, my friend, would be a feather in the cap of the police. But he couldn't bear the light of the publicity.
You have the information, the documents safe?
Very safe.
Well, now, what was the idea of the drugging?
Method of keeping me here for days, perhaps.
But you wouldn't or couldn't have given him anything?
No, but once again the wheel would turn. My daughter's anxiety would eventually bring her here, and God knows what he might do to her to make me speak.
So here we are, right back at the beginning.
I fear so.
Oh, blimey, we are up a tree. Wonder what he and that Scotty Mac are up to.
Lord knows. Mr. Warren, this information you have, would it get Brian Faversham out of jail?
Not quite. But if I'd had it during his trial, would have gone far to secure a less severe sentence.
And Bellew?
Bellew would be in jail now with Faversham.
He's a pretty big operator, isn't he?
One of the biggest. Got a terrific reputation in the city. Strangely, he's earned a lot of respect, big donations to charity and hospitals. I don't know what. As a matter of fact, I know he's been nominated for the next honours list.
Great Scott, this is a tough nut to crack.
Not so really. If I do get out of this, the material I have goes straight to the Treasury and the public prosecutor.
Right. Then we've got to get out of it.
Hey, listen, Mr. Hicks.
The door. Someone's just unlocked it.
Do we go out?
No fear. We wait. If they're coming in, we'll be ready for them. Now, Charlie!
Lord, love a duck, a female.
Grace!
Get the key round this side, Warren. Close and lock the door.
Aye.
Well. So once more, Miss Warren, you shove your perm into the lion's mouth. Doesn't say much for your Mickey Finn, Charlie.
Oh, blimey.
I only pretended to drink that whiskey. It all went down my blouse.
Oh, women.
Well, now, why and how did you come here?
I followed you in a taxi.
I said to you, Charlie, that I thought we were being followed. Well, go on.
I waited about outside here for about an hour, saw all the lights go out. Nothing happened. So, as you had left the front door open, I came in.
Do they know?
Of course not.
Well, thank heaven for that.
Can't you see, Lady Mugg, that if they once know you were here, they'd work on you to such an extent that your father would have to give way?
Women. That's what I say. Women.
Well, there's just one thing about it. You and your father are both in the same place for once. That's a mercy. Did you see any signs of our friends?
I saw no one, but I did hear two men talking in a downstairs room.
Bellew and his henchman.
Yes, Scotty Mac. Well, the way is open, ladies and gentlemen. We can now open the door and sally forth.
Yes, it does seem that way.
And the adventure ends stalemate. No, I don't think so. As long as Bellew wants that stuff from you, he'll persist.
I fear so.
Then there's only one thing to do. You, Mr. Warren, will inform him that all evidence of his depredations has been lodged with the authorities.
I don't think he'll believe that. You see, I'd only assembled the facts a few days back. A leakage somewhere in my own office must have reached him.
Nevertheless, he must be persuaded it's gone. He won't give up the chase otherwise.
Of course he won't.
I have it. Where do you keep this stuff, Mr. Warren?
In my safe at home.
Is it addressed, sealed up?
Not yet. It's in an envelope, a dispatch envelope.
Good. Now, who should be addressed to?
Hugh Taverner, at the Treasury office.
All right. We're going to get out of here at once. Grace or you, hair for home. Get that envelope out of the safe and take it round by hand. There'll be a night watchman or guard on duty. Give it to him.
Do you think we can get out?
What do you think, Charlie?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Very well. Forward. I hope the stairs don't creak. Now, whatever happens, one of you must get away. There's only two of them, and four of us. If we're interrupted and kept here, whoever does the letter carrying, come back as soon as you can.
I hate to sound as if I wanted to avoid a skirmish, but I think I ought to go.
Then do. And if possible, take your daughter along with you. If not, we'll be doing our best to look after her.
I feel I can trust you.
Well, now's the moment. Come on. No one about. Keep near the wall.
Blimey!
Tripwire. All right. Run for your life, Warren.
So, we trapped you, eh? And for your information, I still possess a little gun.
Yes. You've trapped some of us.
Oh,
the girl again. How very obliging of you, Grace.
Isn't it?
Look here, Bellew. You don't have to take it out on women.
Don't I? With Grace here, I'm almost certain my friend Warren will come back. And then we'll see. Now, do sit down. Let's be sociable. Pity Scotty Mac isn't still here. He'll be back, though. Come, we'll wait for Mr. Warren. Plenty of time.
Ah, at last something happens. That might be Scotty.
On the other hand, it might be, and I hope it will be, Mr. Warren, who's repented of abandoning his charming daughter. And by the way, Grace, this may be very painful for you. Will someone open the door?
I will. Excuse me. You, Warren. What on earth did you come back for?
I couldn't leave Grace.
All right, Mr. Bellew. You apparently win. You've got all of us.
Yes, I have, haven't I? All right, Warren, you prepared to give me what I want?
I can't now.
Can't? Or won't? We have Grace with us, you know.
I can't.
Why?
I've just collected the documents and delivered them to the Treasury. Here's a receipt from the night clock.
What? Well, that'll be Scotty Mac. Now keep still! I'll let him in.
That won't be Scotty Mac. The police should be here by now, shouldn't they, Warren?
What?
Bellew won't open the door for Scotty Mac or anyone else. For a man in his position, this disgrace would be quite unbearable. That's all.
And so the roundabout, in the case of Howard Warren and his daughter, came at last to the end of its full turn. And Barbara Faversham could cross off another name from the list of her father's enemies. Thanks to the Grey Goose.
I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
Lately, I've pulled off a few spectacular exploits. But contrary to my own ideas, while being successful, they haven't paid dividends. That is, to Rolland Fletcher. That is, myself. True, I've put paid to the accounts of many of our 40 thieves, of whom you've heard. But in sheer profit, Barbara Faversham and myself have hardly netted the wherewithal. It was therefore with some interest I read an advertisement in the wanted columns of a paper that Barbara showed me.
It says, wanted a 5-sconce candelabrum, Georgian period, lotus pattern as illustrated. Reward for information £1,000. Do not be late again.
The advertiser obviously has one and wants t'other. What does it mean, do not be late again?
But £1,000 for information. And then, of course, the purchase price. A very ardent collector of old silver, I'd say.
True. So ardent that money's no object. Do you know of a 5-sconce candelabrum, Georgian?
Why, yes, I've seen dozens.
So have I. They're all fairly valuable to collectors, but there's plenty to be had for about £100 each. No, I think our sinking fortunes can't be raised from the depths by a candelabrum. Unless...
Unless what?
Quickly, who's the advertiser?
Cornelius, care this paper. Phone Sloane 738.
Sloane 738, Chelsea number. Maybe we can participate after all. I'm going to ring that number. Funny, that puzzles me, that phrase. Do not be late again. Oh, well, here goes.
Madame Cornelius, resident? I'm answering the advertisement in the Connoisseur. Candelabrum. I hope I'm not late again.
I will tell Madame. Please wait.
Jiminy Cricket, I've struck something.
Yes, I am Alva Cornelius. What of the article you mentioned? Is it worth all that money?
Oh, well, I think that Madame will be satisfied with the pattern.
Look, my friend, I don't know your voice, and I'm sure you haven't the candelabrum that will match the one I want. Good day.
Oh, hung up on me. Oh, what do you make of that? How is this woman to know that I haven't the one she wants? Furthermore, she said she didn't recognize my voice.
What does that mean?
It can only mean one thing. That she wants a particular candelabrum, wants it, and only someone she can recognize can supply it.
Go on, Sherlock Holmes. Can you track down £1,000?
No, I can't yet. This candlestick business is a blind, though, of that I'm certain. She's promised someone £1,000 for a particular piece. So I stir up the grey matter a little, and I feel that the delivery of Georgian lotus pattern candelabrum is a sort of routine between Alva Cornelius and others. So obviously I'm not the one, or the voice she was expecting to hear from.
Then it's a blue duck.
On the contrary, it's a grey goose. Now, let's look up Cornelius, Chelsea 738.
I've already done so.
Give me that phone book. Ah. So, Madame Alva Cornelius leaves at 17 Cheney Walk, Chelsea.
But she doesn't like your voice.
Well, she's going to hear more of it, because I'm going to see her and find out why. You see, I want that £1,000.
So, what happens now?
This. I have a pair of lotus twine Georgian candelabra, and I'm taking one along with me.
Yes?
I wish to see Madame Alva Cornelius.
Well,
Will you mention a candelabrum? I have it with me.
Ah, Madame will see you. Enter, please.
Charmed.
This way. Follow, please. The visitor, Madame.
Enter.
I am obliged to you, Madame.
Sit down.
But yes.
Now explain. What is all this?
I'm afraid I do not understand. Madame advertises for a fairly rare piece of Georgian silver. I think I have it. In fact, here it is in the parcel.
Was it you who telephoned me earlier?
Why, yes. Your advertisement gave the number.
And I told you I did not want your piece there and then.
You certainly did. But on reflection, I came to the conclusion that maybe you'd been besieged with applicants offering spurious and base metal substitutes. Thus, I was encouraged to think that I, having possession of the genuine article, could engage your attention.
My friend, I told you that the candelabrum you mentioned over the phone was not the one I want.
So you did, but just look at it. You obviously are a connoisseur. This piece is beyond criticism. It's the genuine article.
It doesn't suit me. It is not the article I want, and you are not the man I expected. The one who was supposed to bring it to me.
It's not many collectors I've met who, in demanding a fairly rare piece, demand a particular man to go with it.
All right, we'll stop all this. You, whoever you are, have pursued a hunch, I believe. In doing so, my friend, you've poked your nose into something that doesn't concern you. That may prove very dangerous.
I'm indeed sorry. You must excuse the enthusiasm of a dealer.
Quiet. I've yet to be persuaded you are a dealer.
I assure you, madame, £1,000 reward makes any dealer enthusiastic.
All right. As a dealer, what odd candelabrum would be worth £1,000 reward plus its price?
There you have me. But I assure you, reason or no reason, value or no value, £1,000 brought me to your door in quite a hurry.
You are either an old fool and an honest one, or a very clever crook.
Oh, madame.
I haven't yet made up my mind. If I find you're the former, you may go when I'm ready. If the latter, so much the worse for you, old man as you may be. Wait, a visitor.
You, Monsieur Bernet. I will tell her.
Come.
Monsieur Bernet has called.
Good. Show him in. Has he a parcel with him?
Yes, madame.
Very well. Ah, Bernet, my friend, come along in. You are almost late, eh?
But not too late. Madame, I intrude. Perhaps you have a guest.
You do not intrude. I'll explain. This is a stranger.
So?
A collector, like you, like me.
You're all collectors together, eh?
Quiet, you. Bernet, he has brought me a candelabrum.
And I have also.
Will you look at the one he's brought? Do you think, Bernet, I would want it?
Of a certainty, no. I have the particular one you require.
So, Mr. Collector, you see.
I see I'm to be swindled out of a reward and the price of my piece. Let me see yours, sir. Why, it hasn't even the feel of mine. The silky touch, the soft edges of the embossment.
Put that down at once.
Well, certainly. It's a very poor example, and I really don't...
It was at this point that the stars all got together and descended on my head, and I remembered no more. However, it was still dark when I came to, with the head buzzing like the middle of a fanfare. Then the hammers stopped, and a white flashlight was shone in my eyes. That didn't help at all, especially as I gradually became aware that the American lady and friend Burnley were gazing at me.
Who is he, think you?
I don't know, but he's certainly not the elderly gentleman he made himself out to be.
About 50 years, I think.
If that's an insult, I'm only 43. Ooh! Just help me up. I don't feel able to move.
That, my friend, is because you're tied down on a bed in one of my back rooms.
Tied down? But why? I've apparently been struck down and now tied down. All over the attempted sale of a Georgian lotus pattern can...
Quiet. You'd better come clean about all this. What do you know?
Nothing, except that my head's very painful. I'm strapped down, or so you say. You know, it's you who should come clean.
What was the idea of that old man act?
Oh, it's simple. When dealing with antiques and clients, I found the client usually expects a man of seeming age. Some are more nearly antiques to match the antiques, as it were.
Gagging, eh? Well, listen. You've bumped your antique head into something not your business, and I don't like it much. So Bernet and I are going to do a little fossicking around and find out who you are and where you come from.
And then?
Then, if you're genuine, you can scram. But if you're a phony trying to put one over us...
Why the trenchant pause?
Well, I couldn't think straight out what we'd do with you. But you'll learn in good time. Now, come on, Bernet. We've got to get a move on.
Yeah, well, what about my piece of...
I've got it. See you later.
Good. And I assure you I'd prefer it if your friend wouldn't use that blackjack on me again.
That all depends.
Nice people. For collectors of refined stuff like Georgian silver, they behave in a very unrefined way. But that's... Oh, no, just a coincidence. My imagination. It is. That's the tooter of my car. I know it in a million. And that means...
Hey! You in there, Mr. Hicks?
My, that's Charlie's voice. Yes, where are you, Charlie? I'm in here.
I'm on the windowsill. Just coming in. Watch out.
For heaven's sake, Charlie, how did you get here?
Not much time for explanations. Let's get these here cords adrift. Oh, Lord love a duck, Mr. Hicks. Why don't you pull your head in? Oh, this is a nice kettle of fish.
When one thinks of Rowley's situation, one is rather inclined to think Charlie Austin's suggestion is not a bad one. But apparently the dangerous path will always beckon the Grey Goose.
I I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
As Charlie Austin says, why don't I pull my head in? Instead, I apparently stuck it out in the matter of the Georgian candelabra. An ad read £1,000 for a candelabrum, Georgian, lotus pattern, etc. Though objects of value, I thought £1,000 was a bit much. So I found the address and wended my way there, where I met an American lady, Alva Cornelius, who didn't want my piece at any price. Into this sumptuous apartment came a Frenchman, one Bernet. He also bore with him a candelabrum and was made duly welcome. I picked his candelabrum up and knew at once it was a phony. Then I was blackjacked from behind and came to strapped to a bed. Later I heard a noise and looked up to see Charlie Austin at the window. He climbed into the room.
Lord love a duck, Mr. X, why don't you pull your head in sometimes? Now we've got to get away from here.
By all means. Ooh, thanks for undoing these cords. I was beginning to feel very uncomfortable. And how in heaven's name did you get here?
Well, I can tell you while you pull yourself together. Fact is, Miss Barbara rang me, see, and said as how you'd come to this address with what's his name?
Georgian, etc. Mm-hmm.
She reckoned you'd been gone too long, especially as the circumstances were suspicious.
How right she was. Well,
so we decided to come here in the car, see, which we did. Then we split forces. She stayed near the front, while I reconnoitred the back.
Was that my car horn I heard just now?
Yeah, it was. If anyone left the house by the front, she was going to tail him, see? The horn was a signal for me.
So she's off somewhere on her own. Not so good.
In the meantime, I scattered round the back. Heard you in this room exchanging chat with a Yank day.
A very dangerous one, I think, Charlie.
Sounded as if she were poison. At any rate, when I got the car signal, I reckoned the coast was clear. So I shinned up one of the pipes and, well, here I am.
Thanks, Charlie. It's nice to have you around at times. Tied up on that bed, I was very uncomfortable.
Well, what now?
Now, let's think. This woman offers a fabulous price for a piece of Georgian silver, £1,000. I want the money. I also have one of the objects. I ring a number as advertised, and she hangs up on me after telling me my voice doesn't sound like the one she was expecting to hear.
What was she waiting for? A call from Jack Benny? What's the strength of it?
I was not to be put off, so I called. Would you believe it? She then informed me I hadn't got the right thing. I'm not the man she was expecting me. And I'm told I'm behaving dangerously.
In fact, you ain't popular with this here Madame...
Cornelius is the name. There thereupon arrives a little French chap.
Frog.
Yes, he opens up his piece, and it's as phony as rabbit's fur mink.
And she likes it?
To her and to him, Charlie, that piece of imitation, no less, is the goods. I tested it myself. Going with the weight, I should say it was largely lead. A very indifferent piece at any rate. Then the lights went out. I was slugged.
Tied up and shoved in here.
Yes, I found myself spread-eagled on this bed, bound hand and foot. When I came to, we had a bit of a dicker, and she left me here to cool off.
And that was where I came in.
Yeah, just about then.
Well, you got a bit of time, because Barbara's keeping tabs on him, see? And when he gets back here, she'll lean on that there car horn again.
Then we'd have a chance to have a look-see round this neck of the woods, eh?
Yeah, as long as we keep one ear hole open.
Wait on. They may not all have gone out. But there was a dim sort of character who opened the door to me.
Oh. He's got to be eliminated, I reckon. So we don't get no interruptions.
Only too true. He's the first job. Now, wait.
Yeah?
If you haven't cut those cords too much, do you think you would arrange them so that, if necessary, I could slip my hands and feet into the loops again?
I get you. Make it look as if you were still tied up, eh?
That's the idea. If we were surprised, we could dash up here. You under the bed, me spread-eagled on top of it.
No sooner said than done. How's that?
Now, on your way. Didn't even bother to lock the door. Got a torch with you?
Yeah. Blimey. Luxury sort of place, isn't it?
Beautiful. Smells of money. Come on down. These stairs lead to the front hall. See what I see, Charlie? On this hall table?
Yeah. Candlesticks.
Candelabra, Charlie. 2 exquisite samples. 5 branches, lotus pattern, Georgian silver. Confound it, I'll be saying that in sleep.
Very handsome.
Yes, very. And one of them is mine. However, that must wait for now. You know, Charlie, there's something screwy about this house and the candelabra. Who is Madame Cornelius? Who's the Frenchman? And why didn't Madame want my particular piece and then give it a place of honour on her whole table?
Reckon we've got to explore some more, eh?
That's the idea. But keep in mind that character I mentioned.
I'm all ears.
This would, I think, be the dining room. By Jove, Charlie, this furniture's worth a fortune.
Real luxury.
And the silver. There's some valuable pieces here. And more candelabra. I've got it, old son.
Got what?
This woman is a collector.
So was Bill Sykes.
Yes, I see what you mean. No, I don't think she's a burglar, Charlie. But she's definitely one who knows her stuff. Look, there's Georgian, Louis XV, Napoleon, Sheffield.
Yeah, silver to burn.
Here, blimey. Feel the weight of this.
You would stand still, please. Quite still. I have a revolver. You're not the first burglars who have taken a fancy to Madame's collection.
Oh, blimey.
Please to move backwards towards the hall. I propose to ring the police. Go, please.
Apparently, we have no choice.
None at all. Now stand away. Yes? Police, please. Acquaint them unwelcome visitors, 17 Cheney Walk. That is correct. We await them. Thank you. I do not think you'll have long to wait. In the meantime, we just rest, eh?
No choice, I fear. You have some lovely stuff in this house.
Indeed, yes. It has attracted quite a lot of attention from many undesirables.
Like us?
Exactly. Like you.
As a matter of fact, this piece here, this 5-branch job, is actually mine.
So I believe.
Then what about me taking it along with me, getting out, and no more said, eh?
That is quite impossible.
Hear that?
Yes, it's Barbara.
Please, if you have anything to say, speak loud.
Loudly is the word. Now, what about this nice candelabrum? Can I have it?
No.
Then...
You have it! No! Good shot, Mr. Hicks.
All right, we've no time for compliments. That horn signal means Barbara's back, and we may expect our friends shortly.
That's what we arranged.
All right, Charlie, back to my prison. You do me up loosely, and then you get under the bed.
Here, what about this one?
We'll take him with us. Mustn't leave him here. Come on. And up the stairs. Oh, my hat. The candelabrum. Grab another, Charlie, quick. This one's a trifle bent, I'm afraid. Take that with us, too.
All set. Yeah, not a sign.
Right. Now, me for the bed.
There you are. All tied up, Mr. Hicks. All you've got to do is to jerk your hands and feet, see? And the cords will come away like.
All right. Now, you hop underneath.
I'm set. And I've got the foreign gent with me. Still dreaming peacefully.
Well, there's nothing to do but to wait.
Someone coming in the front door. Can you hear?
Yes. Quiet.
Henry? Henry?
Henri! Henri!
Surely the idiot wouldn't go out.
I think not. He was told to wait.
Strange. Well, we'd better go and see how our friend is. Come along, Bernie.
Stand by, Charlie. Here it comes. I'll sing out at the first favorable opportunity.
Still here, my friend. Bernie, switch on a light. Are you comfortable?
Candidly, no. I have a pain in my head where your friend Bernie slugged me, and this spread eagle position on the bed has given me the most infernal cramp. I suppose you couldn't explain.
There is nothing to explain. You were not invited. In fact, I warned you not to intrude. You did so in the guise of an elderly man. I thus reckon you are not 100% genuine. You may be a cop. Well, we don't want cops barging in.
I merely tried to sell you a piece of silver for which you advertised.
Get wise to yourself. That ad wasn't for you.
Oh, I see. Just a code.
Bernie, make this hobo stay quiet.
A pleasure. One more taffy with this little blackjack.
Just before that happens, as you seem to suspect me, quite mistakenly, I assure you, what plans have you in store for me?
You want me to sort of read the cards for you,
Well, put it that way if you like.
Well, the fact is, Copper, the immediate future is you take a little trip across to the continent. I got a real nice motor yacht.
Oh, sounds most attractive.
Then in Dunkirk, we'll be introducing you to some friends of mine. You'll like them. They're collectors of rare silver. After that, well, the crystal ball's gone all dark and cloudy. I guess somehow you haven't any future after that.
I'm not sure I like that.
Madame didn't think you would. It is such a pity you intruded, isn't it? Pity to close one's life at only 56 years, n'est-ce pas?
43, and I'm not closing it. Neither are you. Right, Charlie, turn on the heat.
Up, Goldsworthy, am I?
Oh, what is this?
Help! Bernay's too busy, Madame Cornelius. Don't fight. You can't win this round.
How dare you lay hands on me?
Necessity knows no gallantry, Madame. By Jove, you must be in good trim. I'm sorry, but I'll have to land one. Oh. How goes the rear guard, Charlie?
I just beaten the French. Reckon it was a real Waterloo.
All right, now to reverse things. We'll spread eagle Madame Cornelius, give her a taste of what she gave me. You tie the ankles to each bedpost at the bottom, and I'll fix the hands topside. So.
What'll I do with Napoleon here?
Tie him up too, and dump him in this cupboard.
I'm only doing that. I'll find somewhere to put our other friend. Oh, this one's fixed. Now what?
Well, Barbara's outside, isn't she?
I should be.
And if I'm any guesser, she's just bursting to tell us something. After that...
You've got an idea?
By Jove, I have. Charlie, if I'm not much mistaken, we've stumbled on a very, very nice racket. And we'll have to go very, very carefully. This is a Scotland Yard job.
Rolland Fletcher has certainly stumbled onto a curious case here. Madame Alva Cornelius, avowed connoisseur of fine arts, is obviously entangled in some racket. But just what? And how can he turn it to his own advantage? That is the problem confronting the Grey Goose.
I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
My experiences with candelabra, I felt, would end in my never having anything to do with antique silver again. My contact with Madame Cornelius at her house in Chelsea ended in my being bound, spread eagle fashion, on a bed in a back room, while Madame and a Frenchman named Bernay hiked off to places unknown. Fortunately, Barbara had had a brainwave, got Charlie Austin on the job. He sneaked in the back window while Barbara watched the exit of Madame and her friend and followed them both to and from their destination. A signal on the car horn from her notified Charlie and me of their return, and we were thus able to turn the tables, leaving Madame securely tied up where I'd been, and her henchmen, for we'd also captured the one downstairs, locked in cupboards. Then we made our exit.
Thought you were never coming. You got my car signal all right?
Yes, a very bright idea of yours. It gave us time to get ready and turn the tables on them. Now, what's your news?
Well, you were so long coming back that I got a bit anxious and got Charlie along. Then, knowing the address, we tootled along and started exploring. I stayed in the car to see if there was anything doing in front, and Charlie left me to go round the back.
Yes, a good thing he did.
Then, when Madame and her friend came out, I just followed them.
Where did they go?
South Audley Street, a beautiful little antique shop.
Did they go in?
Yes. By the way, the shop is labelled Madame Alva Cornelius, Antiques. All very high class and respectable.
It would be. Well, what next?
Well, about an hour afterwards, they came out, got into their car and drove back here. I did once round the block behind them and tooted the horn as arranged with Charlie.
Well done.
Nice-looking woman, that. Distinguished. That blue ring suits her curly crop.
Yes, doesn't it?
What's happened? Did you get into some strife? I can't see how. They look extremely nice people.
Yes, they do. So nice that they very nearly did for me, just before you and Charlie arrived.
You're surely joking.
I surely am not. And I'm extremely grateful that you did what you did.
Well, what next? I'm burning with curiosity.
Seeing that we've carefully placed your beautiful lady with the blue rinse somewhere where she can't do much harm for a time, you can drive us to this antique place. Come on, Charlie, get in.
Blimey. The place is lighted up like a Christmas tree.
Yes, that's the worst of these places. The policeman on the beat can see into the shop from the street, and if anyone interferes with the lock, an alarm's sounded, and the lights automatically go out.
Let's give it a go, Mr. Hex. Remember the first fire and burglar alarm that I've fixed?
Too risky. We'll go round the back. Barbara, you take the car down the street about 50 yards and sound the old horn again if anything looms up.
Right.
How does it look, Charlie?
The back door's not in the light, but there's an alarm connection. I can just spot it. And it's connected with the lock. Shove a key into that and up goes the balloon.
All right. Give me a back. I'll manage that upper window by way of that pipe.
Don't touch the window fastener. That'll be connected. Just smash the window. Here, I got a lump of plaster in my pocket.
Huh, you think of everything.
Slam it on the glass. Then give a sharp crack with this here little hammer, see? Here, I'm lighter than you. Hoist me up. I'll do it.
Very well.
Up you go.
Set as a jelly. Now, hold on a sec. I reckon I know exactly where the alarm switch is. How are you going? Good. Here it comes.
Oh, that won't wake anybody.
Okay, Mr. Hex. I'm getting in now. Let you in the door in 1 minute.
Also, Garnet, come in. Here, notice anything, Mr. Hex?
Can't see a thing. Let me get my torch.
You, don't want a torch to notice what I noticed?
Good Lord, man. I get what you mean. Whew, the heat. Jiminy, where are we? On the equator?
These here back premises look like a repair shop. But why so blooming hot? That's what I want to know.
We'll find out. The heat seems to be coming through the floor. There's a basement below this. See the stairs?
Yeah, over in that corner.
We'll find out what all this means. Come on. My hat, we're getting warmer, as we used to say when we were kids.
There must be a fire down here.
Oh, so that's it. No wonder it's hot.
Blimey, a furnace.
Yes, an electric furnace and crucible, Charlie. Only half on, but...
What's it for?
It's a gold and silversmith's furnace for melting down precious metals.
Well, I suppose these folks are entitled to have that for repairs.
Of course, no harm in that. Can you find a light switch anywhere?
There must be one about. Oh, here. Crikey. The place is a blinking Alibaba's what's it? Trinkets, candlesticks, dishes. Mostly silver, I reckon.
Come here and look at this candelabra.
Oh, pity. Broken in about 8 places.
Broken? No, not broken, Charlie. Sawn through very carefully and skillfully. Now, you'll notice that the stem in my hand is hollow. They always are.
This one ain't.
No, that one isn't. It's been filled up.
Oh, so it has.
And it's been filled up with gold, Charlie.
Gold? Blimey.
All right, my lad. We now know something, but not all. I notice a safe over there. Can you do it over in double quick time?
Yeah, of course I can.
All right. I'm going to have a last look round. Might see a few samples I could take a fancy to.
Might make a collection on my account, too.
I'll see you looked after. I'm going topside.
Don't get into the shop lights.
Magazines, eh? Connoisseur. Magazines for collectors, dozen of them. Antique silverware of all kinds, collector's pieces. Sheffield, Sheraton, French. On view at the antique salon of Madame Alva Cornelius, South Audley Street, London, West 1. Legitimate business, apparently. Apparently.
Mr. Hex, she's open.
Good. Now, let's grab those papers. That's it. Any money in the cash drawer?
A wad. It's in my pocket now.
Right, let's go. I think I'll leave a feather, though. Great Scott! It's Barbara again. Something's happened.
We better scarp her.
Close the door. We'd better go round the block. Now, what's gone wrong, I wonder?
Blimey, I think I know. Here. Would you like to bash my brains out with this here hammer?
What on earth for?
I reckon, Mr. Hicks, when I opened that safe door, I forgot that might be connected with the alarm system.
My hat. Never mind. There's Barbara in the car.
Hurry! Hurry! I've got the car started.
Now, what happened? Why did you signal?
The lights in the shop suddenly went out.
Reckon I was right. Well, it's no good weeping over a dead fish. Tread on it, driver, and don't spare the carburetor. We are going back to our friends in Cheney Walk.
Well, we're in. What do we do now?
We take advantage of the fact that Madame and company are well taken care of for the time being. Make yourselves at home, children, while we assemble a few facts. I, for one, brought away a few numbers of the Connoisseur. You'll notice that the antique salon of Madame Cornelius figures largely in the advertisements.
Apparently she's quite a reputable dealer and collector.
One of the best, undoubtedly.
Well, I don't get it.
You will, my dear. Now, Charlie, the contents of the safe.
200 smackers.
Uh-huh.
Some, bookkeeping books.
We'll find some well-known collectors' names therein, I've no doubt. Of that, however, more anon. Go on.
Some newspaper clippings. Here, listen to this. New York Times. A series of... Here, you read it, Mr. Hicks.
A series of remarkable robberies has come to light over the last 12 months. It would seem that American and overseas visitors bringing silver purchases into America, having landed their goods and passed them through the customs, have in a large number of cases been suddenly robbed of their goods, which in every case included candelabra. Sometimes the goods have mysteriously vanished from the customs sheds themselves. At others, they've safely reached the home of the purchasers, only to vanish shortly after. 14 consignments of valuable candelabra and such objets d'art purchased overseas have vanished from customs sheds, and no less than 10 overseas tourists have had similar objects stolen from their homes. The police are quite at a loss as to why the thieves have concentrated on articles that are only moderately valuable. The consistent pattern is a puzzle that apparently obscures a deeper motive than the mere collection of antique plate and silver.
Any more?
There's several more to the same effect. No clues. Wait on. Here's a cutting about her friends. Madame Cornelius, one of London's most eminent dealers, has stated that it has been her great pleasure to make sales to many American clients, among them several whose names appear among the victims. She has expressed her intention of following the matter up from the London end. Well, Johnny, do you see any daylight?
Blimey, I don't. But I can see that you've got ideas.
Ideas only, dictated by what I saw and you saw at the antique shop. However, the whole thing devolves on the yard now, and I think this is where I drop 'em a hint. My hat!
Who can that be?
At a guess, it's the police ringing from the antique shop to tell Madame her place has been broken into. Listen, you take it, Barbara. You be Madame. Low contralto voice, drawly American. They've dragged you out of bed. Go on.
Yes?
Madame Cornelius?
Yes. This is Madame Cornelius.
Police here. Constable on patrol in South Audley Street reports your premises broken into.
What's that?
Your premises in South Audley Street have been broken into. We've sent guards along. Please do your best to come along as soon as possible. You'll be met.
Oh, my word, but this is terrible. Yes, I'll come as soon as I can get dressed.
All right, we're sending a police car for you.
Oh, for heaven.
Tell them yours is up front.
Don't worry. My car's outside.
Better take the police car, madame. The inspector's in it.
The inspector?
Yes, madame, Inspector Ford. Be there in a few minutes.
Right, I'll wait. Hear that? Ben Ford's coming.
My hat, that takes us off. Charlie, pick up all those bits, but leave the news cuttings around. Then we'll move. Not a moment to lose. Barbara, you and Charlie take the car. I've got to dash upstairs and release Madame.
But what about...
There can be no buts. I've got to do it. Explain later. I must listen to what happens here.
With the fat sizzling in the fire, the police on their way to Chelsea, and Madame Cornelius to be released, there's obviously considerable danger awaiting the Grey Goose.
I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
As I've told you, Charlie Austin and I managed to break into Madame Cornelius's swell little antique shop. A veritable treasure house we found. Discovering a goldsmith's furnace in the basement, I was led to a certain conclusion, which you've probably reached too. Back at Madame's house with Barbara and Charlie, we examined the contents of her safe, which we'd brought with us from the antique shop. We learned from newspaper cuttings we lifted from the safe of robberies from tourists arriving in America, who, having purchased antique silver goods, were robbed on arrival. Suddenly the phone rang, and Barbara, impersonating Madame on the phone, was informed by the police that they were sending a car for her at once.
It's obvious, Barbara. You and Charlie must get away now. I'll release Madame and stick around. I must try and hear what goes on. Now, off with you both. I'll join you at the flat.
Oh, that won't do. Should have left the door open. I'd better do it myself. Now for Madame and her little playmates. Are you still there, Madame?
Yes, you swine. Once let me get out of this, and I'll skin you alive.
Oh, that's not very ladylike of you. As a matter of fact, my dear, I've come to undo those very uncomfortable knots and let you go.
The worse for you.
Oh, I don't think so. You'll be very stiff for quite a time. I know, you see, having been similarly treated by you.
Let's have some light on the subject. I want to get a good look at you.
I prefer a dim light, Madame. Now, keep still.
You're asking for trouble.
No, and don't try anything you regret. I hate getting rough with a lady. Besides, I have news for you. Now, hold it. The police are due here in about 1 minute.
Police? What? Why?
Apparently, your antique shop in South Audley Street has been broken into. The police are sending a car for you.
But I don't wish to go there. How do you know all this?
They just telephoned that Inspector Ford is on his way to take you to the scene of your crime.
My crime? Say, what do you know? By heck, it was you broke in there.
Like your late and eminent president, I cannot tell a lie.
Then...
Yes, I know quite a lot, but I'll strike a bargain with you.
Go on.
I'll not testify against you, nor tell the inspector what I know, provided...
Go on, go on.
Provided you and yours don't give a too detailed description of me to the inspector.
That's easy. I haven't yet had a good look at you.
All the better. That, I think, will be the inspector. So now to release this hand so that you may greet him properly. There. Ooh! I said no funny tricks, Madame. Sorry I can't stay to pay that one back. Oh, give this to the inspector at a favourable opportunity, will you? I'm getting out of this window now. Au revoir.
Anyone at home?
Yes, Inspector. Upstairs, please. You can help me.
Coming. Madam Cornelius?
Yes, of course. Look, there's a friend of mine under the bed.
Dear, dear.
Please, cut out the gags. He's tied up, and there's another one in that cupboard.
All right. Capel, you attend to that.
Right, sir.
Now, madam, you apparently got my telephone message about your shop.
The message was passed on to me.
You answered the phone yourself.
Listen, I haven't answered any phone call over the last 4 or 5 hours. I've been tied up.
Well, it was certainly a woman's voice.
A woman? Say, I don't get this. Untie me and let's sit down while your cop looks after my friends. And Bernie and you, Henry. Not a word, see?
There's something here I can't understand.
Thank you. Well, maybe you can understand this gadget. This feather.
Grey Goose feather.
Is that what it is? I wouldn't know.
How did you get this?
It was given to me by the son of Satan who lashed me onto that bed with string and who tied up Bernie there and shut Henry in a cupboard.
A Grey Goose.
He's the man, too, who burgled my shop. Which reminds me, any time we had a look-see to find if anything is missing?
That was the original intention of the local police, madam. But a feather like this was found near the safe.
Was the safe open?
It was. But let me go on, please. These feathers have a deep significance to my department. Hence the constable who discovered the break-in obeyed instructions and had me informed.
You've been there yourself, then?
I have, and made a complete examination of the premises. Madam...
Well, what now?
I did not care for some of the things I saw there.
Such as what?
I'll tell you later. In the meantime, kindly describe this man who tied you up and whom you allege broke into your shop.
He was rather tall. Well, you know, I didn't get a real square look at him.
Well, do the best you can. You say he was tall, moustache,
No moustache. Clean-shaven.
Fair or dark?
I couldn't say for certain. As I said, I didn't get a real clear view of him.
Pity.
Well, what about getting a move on and let's see the damage at the shop?
We're not going to the shop, madam. I'm taking you to Scotland Yard for further questioning.
Say, what is all this? Why have I got to be questioned?
I told you just now I was not quite satisfied with what I saw at the shop. Experts are up there now making a specific examination. In the meantime, you come with me to the yard.
Not on your life. Bernay, Henry, jump this flatfoot.
Capel, hook up those two.
Let me go.
This is for you, madam. You're being very silly to resist. I hate using force on a woman, but if you insist, you can have it. All right, now down to the car. Bring the others, Capel. Come on. Down you go.
Come on, keep moving all of it.
Well, it was worth staying around for. Ben Ford's a smart cookie. Apparently he took the hint. I imagine he's going to figure largely in the news in the very near future. I must ring him up shortly.
Inspector Ford here.
A call for you. Personal, sir.
Caller mention his name?
No, sir. He just said, Grey Goose.
Great. Oh.
Do you hear me, sir?
Yes, I heard you. Shove him through.
Shall I endeavour to trace the call, sir?
Oh, don't be an idiot. Chap always rings from a public call box. By the time we got there, it had vanished. Hello?
Good day to you, my dear Inspector.
What do you want?
My needs are few, sir. As a matter of fact, I'm not at the receiving end on this occasion. I'm giving.
Well, all right, give.
Personally, I'm very glad you took the hint I gave you.
You mean your darned feathers at South Audley Street and Cheney Walk?
Yes, exactly. And I think everyone will have cause to congratulate you on a smart arrest and the exposure of quite a big conspiracy.
All right. Thank you for the feathers this time. Any more?
Oh, but yes, Inspector. Oh, definitely. There are a few more hints forthcoming.
Well, I may as well listen.
Then do so. Firstly, I presume you read the newspaper cuttings I left around.
I did, and I realized at once the idea behind the robberies in New York. Almost every client of Madame Cornelius who purchased candelabra here was immediately robbed over the other side. And I know why.
That is most perspicacious of you. By the way, that very handsome lady didn't take your arresting her quietly, did she? Very tough and strong for a woman. You seem to find her quite a handful.
How the devil do you know?
Oh, my dear Inspector, I was there.
You were there? At Cheney Walk when I made the arrest?
But yes, I was outside the window of that room, hanging on to a rainwater pipe. A very precarious hold I had, too.
You seem very active for an elderly gentleman.
Oh, I do, don't I?
Oh, you...
Oh, just one thing more. One of the candelabra in the Cheney Walk house belongs to me. Would you be good enough to leave it for me?
Where?
I'm not so easily tricked, Inspector. Leave it with an assistant commissioner for his sideboard.
Look here, but... Oh, all right, have your joke.
How shall I know which one is yours? Got your initials on it, eh?
Indeed, yes. Just, G.G.
Keep it up. Oh.
Before I ring off, Inspector, where is our stately madame?
She's with the other women in the remand cells.
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear.
Well, now you're back amongst us. For heaven's sake, explain. Charlie and I are completely mystified. The paper this morning says that Inspector Ebenezer Ford made a very successful raid, and it resulted in the uncovering of a clever gold smuggling racket. Arrests followed, including the principal criminal, Madame Alva Cornelius, well known, etc., etc. The reporter goes on to say that the tip to the police originated from that strange and elusive character, the Grey Goose, who, apparently evil in many ways, contrives to do good in others.
Oh, how nice. Well, here's how it goes. Charlie and I discovered the gold, probably stolen, was smelted down at South Audley Street and poured into the hollow candelabra. These were then skillfully joined together again. Mm-hmm. Now, Madame did a big trade with overseas tourists. Mr. Cyrus K. Something of New York would purchase a pair of candelabra. pay duty in America, not very high on that personal stuff, and presumably place them on his solid mahogany whatnot.
And then what?
Madame's connections over there would stage a little robbery. Cyrus K. loses his candelabra, and about 20 ounces of gold would find its illicit way into wrong hands.
Oh.
Madame, of course, notified them in advance of Cyrus's arrival. Multiply that game many times a year, and, well, hey, presto.
I see. But what about the ads? £1,000 reward.
Ah, that wasn't for prying eyes like mine. Looking over the old ads, I found that sum varied. It meant that was the quantity that could be handled on that occasion. Don't be late, be on time, and such phrases meant clients were waiting. Ford's got all the cuttings, ads, books, etc., and he'll soon work that out. By the way, Charlie and I collected quite a wad of notes from Madame's safe. We'll send that to, a hospital this time, eh?
Yes. Mark it, a present from a lady.
Gone. That weren't no lady.
What?
That was Cornelius Alverick, big-time smuggler. Ran a successful business as a woman for about 10 years.
A man? But that magnificent figure.
My dear, there are other people in this world besides motorists who say, God bless Mr. Dunlop.
And so our modern Robin Hood again pulls a fast one. Be listening again to the next 4-part adventure